All right, sixth graders, this is your pink folder with your novel, The Whipping Boy, inside of it. So you have a book and some papers. Your book has a number. That's why your folder has a number. This is Mark's book. It's 6, number 6, just to help me keep track of who's got what book. Go ahead and read the back. The main characters in here are Jemmy and the Prince. And this story is based on, it's historical fiction, so it's based on a practice that they used to have where a prince could not be spanked or punished at all until he would have a whipping boy. And that's where the title comes from. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's really funny. The chapters, some of them are long, some of them are short. You're going to do 2 chapters a day because it has 20 chapters in it. All right, so you will, if you remember doing Stone Fox last year, you had to write a lot of definitions for words. There's only a little bit of that. Your vocabulary work is different. So let's say you've read your first 2 chapters over here. Now I stapled these together, but you don't have to leave them stapled. You can take them apart if it helps you. The front side is always vocabulary, and it goes over 2 chapters. So you might not be sure which chapter the word comes out of. You have to search for it. Hopefully you're going to be able to get together with the other 6th graders, or at least a couple of you working together, read the chapters on your own, and then get together, do a Zoom meeting, or get together on Facebook Messenger for Kids and do the work together. Because if you were in school, you would be reading on your own, and then you'd be getting together to do the work, because kids work in groups on these. So the front page is vocabulary, and if there's anything at the bottom, I've marked it extra credit. You don't have to do it unless you want to. And then the back are the questions. You want to be careful with these because a lot of these questions have more than one question in them. So you want to be sure that if there are 2 question marks, you have 2 answers. And go back to the book and look for the answer, work with other kids and look for the answers. So every day you will read 2 chapters, you'll do vocabulary, and you'll do the questions on the back for both chapters. The chapter titles are really cool because they all start out like in which or wherein, and it gives you a clue as to something that's going to happen in the story. Okay, so be sure when you come to a page like this is chapter 3 and 4, you have to write definitions, that you're making sure that the definition matches the way the word is used in the book, because you know words have different meanings. All right, so there are 10 of these, front and back. Be sure you are doing it all. If you have questions, email me, have your parents text me if I'm not getting back to my email fast enough. There's another YouTube video that shows about the target words. I think when you watch it, it will refresh your memory and you'll remember what to do. I gave you, I think, about 20 pages, so if you want to do 1 per page, you can. If you want to do 2 on the front and 2 on the back, you can. But you have enough. If you only want to do 1 word per page, you've got enough paper. Okay, so when you finish the book, and only when you finish the book, and we've gone over a summary and I've made sure nobody has any questions, that's when you'll work on the work packet. Again, there's a YouTube video that will tell you how to do the attribute webs if you don't remember, and I used Mark for our example. And these pages, I'll have to do some explaining, and I'll either do it in a YouTube video or an email message. Some of them, like the crossword puzzle, I'm going to have to give you some of the answers because it's not something we would have talked about and you wouldn't be able to come up with it, but that's okay. This page is really difficult. It's the most difficult one in the whole book. But I'll give you some clues on that because we aren't going to be there to work together. Some of them have no directions on them, like that one. So I'll have to give you directions on that. I can probably do it in an email, but I might do a YouTube video. But don't work on the packet until you have finished the whole book. And you need to do 2 chapters a day. So you read your 2 chapters, you do your vocabulary, and then you go on the back of the page and you do the answers to the comprehension questions, and you do 2 target words every day. Your target words need to come out of the vocabulary words. Okay, so like this first one has some words, like you wouldn't be able to use just any of these for target words because target words have to have synonyms and antonyms. So like the word chamber, a chamber is a room, and in fact it means the bedroom in this one. His chamber is where he sleeps. That's not a good word for a target word because you can't get an opposite of chamber. But you could get an opposite for the word bawl, B-A-W-L, because that means to cry. So you could come up with the opposite of that. You couldn't use the word ferrets because there's no opposite for animals. There's no synonym really, and there's no antonym. So just be careful that you're choosing a word for your 2 target words, and you have to do 2 per day, that you actually can come up with a synonym and an antonym for them. So, like I said, do 2 chapters a day and hopefully get together and work with other 6th graders. 6th graders only because the 5th graders are doing Stone Fox. So that is that. If you have any questions, be sure that you email me or have your parents text me and I'll get back to you. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.